Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kimberly, also known as Mbali. Thank you so much for tuning in and for stopping by. I'm coming at you with not so much of a blank canvas, or I can call it a blank canvas, but I'm coming to you with my face just with some foundation on, and I have my cream contour on as well. I haven't put on any of my concealer, and the reason for that is reviewing a powder. I'm really excited to be reviewing this powder and to be getting into the nitty-gritty of this powder, because I know powder is something that we really do struggle with. I do have a powder that I absolutely love that I use, but I know it is kind of a struggle for a lot of people to get to a powder that they really like, that doesn't have flashback, that leaves the skin looking smooth, that doesn't dry them out, X, Y, and Z. And I know it is a struggle, and I love that we can have options. I'm hoping that the powder today is going to be an excellent choice. I'm hoping that you are able to get your hands on it. So let's just get straight into the video. Right, so as you can tell by the title of the video as well as the thumbnail, the powder that I'm reviewing today is a powder by Sheglam, and it looks like this. So it is a powder by Sheglam, and Sheglam of course is a makeup brand by Shein. So recently I've really gotten into like purchasing quite a few items from Shein. I have been getting into it, and I saw that Shein launched like their makeup brand, which is Sheglam, a couple of months ago, like maybe 3 months ago. I saw them launching it, and I was like, okay, cool, maybe this is something that I need to check out. And because I know I'm someone that orders frequently on Shein, I was like, you know what, let me order some makeup products from them. Today specifically I'm going to be focusing on the powder, which is a translucent powder, and I know, like I said, it is very limited. The options that we have in South Africa for translucent powders is very limited, and we know some people love the higher end, like the Laura Mercier, which is a really great powder, but it's not very accessible to us. So the powder that I've been loving and that I've been raving about and that I've used ever since I started out with makeup is the Yardley Absolute Translucent Powder, which looks like this. I love this powder. It is affordable. It's like 120 rand if I'm not mistaken. It is affordable, it is massive, it will last you forever, it will last you a really long time. I don't experience flashback with it, I don't experience dryness with it, none of those. So I really love that about the Laura Mercier powder, or the Yardley Absolute Translucent Powder. But this powder over here that I have picked up from Shein, it's cheaper than the Yardley Absolute Translucent Powder. It is currently selling at Shein for 64 rand. It is significantly smaller than the powder, the Yardley powder. The Yardley powder is 50 grams, and the net grams of the Sheglam powder is 5.5 grams. I also do have the Fenty Beauty powder. It's not a translucent powder, but I have the Fenty Beauty powder, and the Fenty powder is a 26 grams. So you can imagine that this is quite not that much product that is in here. It does come in this nice slick package over here, so it's a bit shiny and sheen. And then this is how it looks over here. Okay, so let's read up on some of the claims. So it says it's a weightless, translucent, highly oil control loose powder. It has, I don't know how many particles in it, that leaves your skin with a radiant, naturally flawless and airbrush like finish. It's made with 100% talc free and light reflecting particles that give you a soft glowy texture and minimize and blurs your pores. That is the powder. You will see, like I mentioned in the beginning, that I have my foundation on and I have my cream contour. I haven't highlighted with my concealer. I'm going to go in with my concealer, then immediately I'm going to go in with the powder, so I can just demonstrate to you guys how that works. I'm also going to keep everything, like I always say with any review, I want to keep everything the way that I usually do things. I don't want to try anything new. Blended out, and I've brought you guys a little closer. I showed you what concealer I used. My concealer has creased quite a bit because it's been a while since I came here. My powder's already popped in the back of the cap, and I've got my Revlon sponge over here, and it is a damp sponge. This is a sponge that I love using because it can really get into the crevices that I needed to get into. So I'm just taking the same brush that I used to blend out my concealer, and I'm just blending around where I usually get my crease. Then I'm gonna take the sponge and I'm gonna first place the powder right where I usually get like the massive fat crease. Do the same on the other side. I'm happy with that, so it is quite soaking up over there. At this point, what I do, so like I said, I like using a sponge or a brush for my powder. So at this point, I'm just going to take some powder and I'm rolling my sponge into powder over there. And then I've got quite a bit of powder, but I'm going to take it onto my hand and tap off the excess. And then I'm going to start pressing the powder into my skin. You guys are seeing this, but this is amazing. I'm pressing that powder into my skin because I need it to disappear. Make sure that your sponge is definitely damp. Also, you're going to run into problems. Oh. I mean, I was just doing the thing to get the powder out of the way because I don't want any creasing, but you can see what's happening on my skin. It is amazing. It literally blurs. It blurred me. I'm just gonna go everywhere else where I put concealer, and again I'm just placing the powder and pressing the powder into my skin. Definitely don't use a lot of this powder because it has like these particles that's almost like a glow, and it does say it's like a translucent type of glow powder. So if you're not a fan of, you know, having a glow, rather not. I don't know if you guys can see, but it is looking so flawless. Okay, so one more test for this powder before I go in and finish my face. I love doing my nose contour. I love nose contouring, and I do place like my cream contour and all of that stuff. But what I also use for my nose contouring is I bake using my translucent powder. So I'm just going to place that over here. And that's the only baking I do. I don't bake. I press all of my powder in, but this is the baking that I do. So as you guys can see, this is how I get my nose contour situation. All of the powders are on. I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna finish the rest of my face, and I'm gonna come back here with my final thoughts on this powder. Okay babes, I am back and I'm done with the rest of my face, and as you can see, everything's settled in. This is how my face is looking, and this is how my under eye is looking. You're still up close and personal with me. I'm loving it. I'm so here for it. So the powder definitely blurred my pores. It made everything super duper smooth. I'm looking at it from my mirror and it looks incredibly smooth. Like, it even helped with the whole contouring situation. It does what it needed to do. After I baked with it, so I only baked in those areas. After I baked with it in those areas, everything was perfectly fine. There was no like toughness of trying to dust it off because I basically baked for the entire duration of me doing my makeup. I literally have been using this powder ever since I got it. I didn't go back to my Yardley Absolute Translucent powder after I got it. This is probably like the 5th time that I'm using this powder, and I am loving it. Okay, anyway you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Final thoughts on this powder is just, it is a bomb powder. I love it, and like I said, I've been using it ever since I got it, and I don't think I'm going to stop using it. The only downside about this powder is the fact that it is a 5.5 gram, whereas other powders are like 50 grams, the Yardley Absolute Translucent powder. But I do think that this powder would be able to last you quite a bit. It definitely would be able to last you quite a bit, because I know my Yardley Absolute Translucent powder, this is the second one that I have since I started doing makeup. So I've had it for a while, like over a year. I know you're only supposed to keep it like 2 years, but I have had it forever. Powder does come in more than one shade, but I went with the translucent one, and I think that's kind of your safest bet, and I don't think you can have issues with it. Before I say goodbye to you guys, I'm definitely going to insert a picture on the side over here with a flash test to let you guys know whether it is flash proof and whether or not you will get flashback on the powder. From what I've used it, I haven't like used flash directly, but I didn't get any flashback. So yes you guys, that is all I have for today. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really love if you can become part of this family. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Love and light to you and yours. Bye.